Good morning, students. In the previous class, we had the discussion about how exactly the structure of TMB and the structure of bacteriophage is organized, how the proteins and nucleic acids together construct the structure of RNA virus such as TMB and DNA virus such as bacteriophage. Today, let me consider the reproduction in viruses. Reproduction in viruses. It's how exactly viruses are going to multiply, how they reproduce. First of all, remember that viruses are not the living things. We refer them as living entities or living particles. And the viruses, they can't reproduce on their own without the assistance of the host cell. If at all any virus need to be multiplied or need to be reproduced, at that time the enzymes of the host cells are usually required. By making use of the host cell machinery, viruses are going to multiply. How exactly the viruses are going to multiply or reproduce in the host cell? That we are going to discuss today under the heading reproduction in viruses. Okay, based on how exactly viruses are going to multiply, we categorize reproduction in viruses under two segments. One is the lytic cycle, the another one is lysogenic cycle. Okay, let me consider the lytic cycle. As far as the lytic cycle is concerned here, viruses, they inject their genetic material into the host cell, and that material is going to multiply in the host cell, and it is going to produce many daughter viruses or newly formed viruses in the host cell. After that, once the newly produced viruses are produced in the host cell, they are getting released by the breaking down of the cell bond of the host cell. So, for example, here we are going to study lytic cycle with reference to the bacteriophages such as T4 bacteriophage or T6 bacteriophage. These are very common kind of bacteriophages. So you look at this. Assume that this is supposed to be the host cell, such as a bacterium cell, maybe the cell of the E. coli bacteria. First of all, a bacteriophage, it comes in contact with the host cell. This bacteriophage, it attaches to the host cell, it fixes itself to the host cell. This process is usually called as adsorption. at the time of adsorption, there is a reaction between or chemical interaction between the tail fibers of the bacteriophage and the peptides which are supposed to be there in the cell wall of what you call as the bacterium cell. Usually, the cell wall of the bacteriophage is made up of what you call as mucopeptides. You all know. And these mucopeptides usually have the amine group. Okay. They have the amine group, that is the NH2O group. Even the tail fibers which are supposed to be there in the bacteriophage are usually made up of what you call as the proteins. The carboxyl group in the amino acid of the proteins present. There is an interaction between the carboxyl group of the tail fibers and amino group of the mucopeptides present in the bacterial cell. As a result of that, what happens is, because of that interaction, okay, the bacteriophage is finally able to recognize its host cell. Yes, this is the host cell where I should attach, where exactly I have to inject my material so that reproduction can take place. So this interaction is very, very specific. Remember. By chance, if this bacteriophage or virus comes in contact with some wrong host cell, at that time attachment never occurs. Okay, this process of absorption of bacteriophage to the host cell through chemical interaction is usually referred as adsorption. Okay, once the adsorption becomes successful, next what happens is, the next step occurs. We refer that next step or the second step as infection. We call this as infection. Okay, then in the process of infection, what is going to happen is, the bacteriophage is going to send its genetic material there into the bacterial cell. Usually in the bacteriophage virus, there is a DNA present. Okay, this is supposed to be the DNA of the bacteriophage. We can call it as a DNA of the virus. Even the bacterium is also having its own DNA. This is supposed to be the bacterial DNA. This is DNA of bacterium. Now, what happens here is, at the point of contact, the cell wall present in the bacterium undergoes what you call as lysis. Okay, here certain lysozymes are going to be responsible for the lysis of the cell wall. A small pore-like structure is going to be produced, and this pore-like structure is in continuation with the tail core that is present in the bacteriophage. Now, what exactly happens here is, say, the tail is contractile in function. Tail of the virus is contractile in function. Okay. Now, this tail is going to contract. When the tail is going to contract, what happens is, the DNA present in the virus is getting injected there into the bacterial cell. This is supposed to be the viral DNA of the virus. It is getting inserted into the bacterial cell. This process is called infection. Once the infection process is over, once the injection of this DNA into the bacterial cell is over, what happens is the whole protein part of the bacteriophage, it remains outside the host cell. We call this empty protein part of the bacteriophage virus as host. It never enters into the bacterial cell. It remains outside. Okay. This is the viral DNA. What this viral DNA does is, this viral DNA is going to synthesize the components of virus. How exactly it happens? Look here. Assume that this is supposed to be the bacterial cell. Okay. And already here, bacterium is having its own genetic material. Okay, this is supposed to be the DNA of bacterium. Okay. So this is the viral DNA. Let's assume this is the viral DNA. Let's say this the DNA injected from the bacteriophage. Okay. Now this DNA of the virus, it acts as a master molecule. It acts as a master molecule. It takes the control of the entire bacterial cell. It controls all the activities of the bacterial cell. And it is going to order the bacterial cell that many copies of this viral DNA must be produced by the host cell. It makes use of the entire protein synthetic machinery and DNA synthetic machinery of the host cell. Now look here, here only one DNA of the DNA virus is present. Okay. Now this virus introduces DNA or viral DNA, whatever you call it. It undergoes replication. Look here, this is supposed to be the DNA of the bacterium. This is DNA of bacteria. Okay. Now this is supposed to be the DNA of the virus. Say that this is the DNA of the virus. Now initially it is presenting one number. Now this DNA of the virus undergoes replication. As a result of that replication, one DNA molecule getting duplicated into two. Again, these two DNA molecules belongs to the virus undergoes replication. 2 duplicated into 4. 4 when they undergoes replication, yes, 8 viral DNA molecules are going to be produced like this. There are many copies of the DNA viruses are going to be produced. Next what happens is proteins of viruses are going to be produced. How the proteins of the viruses are going to be produced? You all know that for the formation of any protein, there must be a message carrying RNA. We refer this as mRNA. Attached to the mRNA, there should be ribosomes. Can ribosomes read the message present on the mRNA? Based on the message present on the mRNA, it assembles the amino acids. Based on the amino acids which are being assembled in a regular sequence, proteins are going to be produced. Its nature of the protein is going to be decided by the amino acid sequence, and this amino acid sequence is going to be decided by the coded message present on the mRNA. Of course, there in the bacterial cells, there are 70S ribosomes present. 70S type of ribosomes which are there in the bacterial cell. But there is no mRNA for the production of viral proteins present here. mRNA of the viral proteins are not present. Now what these DNAs are going to do? These DNAs are going to direct the mRNA production. Okay, DNA of the viruses now undergoes transcription. By the transcription, they are going to synthesize messenger RNAs of viruses. These are the messenger RNAs of the viruses which are going to be produced. Okay, once the messenger RNAs are going to be produced, what happens next is assemblies of DNA and proteins of the viruses takes place. Prior to that, what happens is, there in the bacterial cell, assume that this is the bacterial cell. Okay, already here many viral DNAs are present. Assume that these are the viral DNAs. Even they have synthesized mRNAs, messenger RNAs. These are supposed to be the mRNAs of virus. Okay. Now these mRNAs of the virus associates with the ribosomes. They associate with the ribosomes. Already told you that here 70S type of ribosomes are there in the bacterial cell, and these 70S type of ribosomes, they attach to the mRNA of the virus. There on the mRNA of the virus, there is a coded message for the synthesis of viral proteins present. Okay, based on this coded message, what the ribosomes does is, ribosomes are going to synthesize the proteins of the viruses. Okay, here proteins of the viruses are going to be produced there in the host cell. These are supposed to be the proteins of viruses. Okay, next what happens? Once the proteins of the viruses are being produced, now these proteins of the viruses, they getting assembled around the viral DNAs. Look here. Assume that this is supposed to be the bacterial cell. Okay. Here you can see the DNAs of the virus. Maybe these are the DNAs of the viruses. Okay. Now these are the proteins of the viruses. Now these proteins of the viruses are going to assemble around the DNA, and they are going to construct the head, as well as even they may construct the tail. When they construct both head and tail, there is a formation of what? There is a formation of what you call as new bacteriophage virus. Like this here, many proteins of the viruses are present, and these proteins of the viruses, as and when they assemble around the DNA, okay, they are going to construct what you call as the head and tail of the virus. So that entire bacteriophage is going to be newly constructed. So that there inside the host cell, there are hundreds of new bacteriophages which are going to be produced. Now finally what happens here is, once the synthesis of the new bacteriophages occurs, then the bacterial cell synthesis of certain enzymes called lysozymes occurs. We all know that these lysozymes, they act on the cell wall, they digest the cell wall. As a result of that, here cell wall is going to break. Maybe at one or more points, the cell wall may break, and it creates a sort of opening. Okay, this process is called lysis. Remember, this process is called lysis. Okay, in the process of lysis, what exactly happens here is breakdown of the cell wall takes place. And once the cell wall ruptures, what is going to happen here is all these bacteriophages which are there inside the host cell are coming out. They are getting released. Once they getting released, they go in search of the new host cell. By chance, if they found the new host cell, they attach to the host cell through the process of adsorption. And later they inject their genetic material, that is DNA. And this DNA, it is going to multiply and produces many copies through replication. And later, the viral DNA is going to produce its mRNAs. And later, these mRNAs take the help of the 70S type of ribosomes, and they are going to synthesize the proteins necessary for the formation of viruses. Once the DNAs of the viruses are there and proteins are produced, what happens here is assemblies of the viral proteins as well as the DNAs occurs, so that newly produced bacteriophages are produced. And after the lysis of the cell wall of the host cell, the bacteriophages which have been newly produced in the cell are getting released. So that here the cycle continues. In this cycle, what happens is finally the breakdown of the host cell takes place. Lysis of the host cell takes place. That is why we refer this cycle as lytic cycle. There is one more kind of cycle present, that is called lysogenic cycle. Even bacteriophages are also going to reproduce through lysogenic cycle. Let me consider how exactly the lysogenic cycle occurs and how this lysogenic cycle is different from the lytic cycle. Okay, let me consider that now. Okay, write out the date. lysogenic cycle. Okay, there in the lysogenic cycle, what we can observe is immediately the breakdown of the cell wall of the bacterium never occurs. Here also, the bacteriophages or the viruses are going to make use of the host cell for their multiplication. But the way how they use their host cell for the multiplication is different from the ligand cycle. How it differs? Let me consider. The lysogenic cycle, as it is, what happens is there is an adsorption process. Okay, in the process of adsorption, the bacteriophage is going to recognize its host cell through the chemical interaction. Okay. Once the chemical interaction occurs, if the host cell is very specific to that of virus, okay, adsorption becomes successful. Once the adsorption becomes successful, okay, it is going to attach to the host cell wall. This is supposed to be the cell wall of the host cell. This is the bacteria. Maybe this is the DNA of the bacteria. Okay. Assume that this is supposed to be the DNA belongs to the virus. Now what exactly happens here is the infection occurs. You all know what is meant by infection. Infection means, okay, through the creation of the pore in the cell wall, injection of the DNA of the virus takes place into the bacterial cell. Means this virus is able to inject its genetic material, that is DNA, into the host cell. Say, this is supposed to be the host cell of the virus, maybe the bacterial cell, such as E. coli. Okay. Already this is the bacterial DNA. This may be the bacteria. This may be the DNA of the virus. Once the pore is produced here, okay, once the pore is produced, what is going to happen is, yes, this DNA is going to inject its genetic material into the host cell. And what happens is the tail is contractile in function. When it contracts, okay, the DNA of the virus easily getting entered into the host cell through the pore produced there in the cell. This is exactly the DNA belongs to the virus. Oh, what happens here is an integration of viral DNA with DNA of is supposed to be the DNA belongs to that of virus. It is the DNA of the bacterium. Now this DNA of the virus, it integrates with the DNA of what we call as the bacterium. Second, so for example, this is the bacterial DNA. Maybe with this bacterial DNA, the DNA of the virus is also present. Exactly like this. Can I make out here? This is the viral DNA. This viral DNA mixed with the bacterial DNA, and it forms what you call as a double-stranded circular DNA. We call this as integrated DNA because it is the combined DNA of virus as well as the bacteria. Next, what happens is the DNA of the virus, once it gets integrated with the DNA of the bacterium, it is going to multiply. But remember, it won't multiply independently. As and when the DNA of the bacterium is going to multiply or going to replicate, along with the replication of this bacterial DNA, even DNA of the virus also duplicates. Okay, here then the cell of the bacterium, maybe only one DNA molecule may be present, and this molecule of the DNA contains the viral DNA. Okay, assume that this is the viral part of the DNA. Now this whole DNA undergoes replication. Okay, as a result of that, what happens is one DNA molecule getting duplicated into two DNA molecules. Okay. Along with the duplication of this bacterial DNA, even duplication of viral DNA also.